Thank you very much. First of all, I will introduce a little bit myself. So I'm Pierre Ribeiro Gomes. I'm the head of sales of the European office of PCBWay, located in France. Maybe you notice the accent. So today I will share with you some data that you should be aware when you do a design on KiCad, mainly because it may happen that sometimes when you do a design, you design things that are not feasible by factories. So it's all the time it's better to once you begin your design, to respect some rules, to respect some data. So I will share with you these data and up to which values you can go. I will share with you some data regarding PCBWay factories for sure. Some data from the standard factory we have in China, and some data from the advanced line, because we have an advanced line dedicated for, let's say, more complicated boards, more complex boards. So first of all, I will talk about OS and vias design requirements. Okay. Secondly, I will talk about traces design requirements. Then I will share with you how to use the KiCad plugin to upload your Gerber file directly to PCBWay website, PCBWay system. And then we will discuss about, you will ask me some questions and I will try to answer, because I know some of your questions can be tricky. So I will also share with you this board. Maybe you have seen it yesterday at my table, but it's a board where we try to show some complex elements that can be manufactured by PCBWay. So I will give it to the first person and then you will share it together. I had 3 yesterday and only 1 today, so sorry about that. So here it is. You can check it. You can take some pictures also. And after, if you have some questions about it, you can ask me during the last topic. Okay. So first of all, I will discuss about the all spacing requirements. Okay. When we talk about the spacing between via to via on the same net, you have to respect 0.2 millimeter at least, okay, on our standard line, but it can be possible to try to do 0.15 millimeter. You have to know that when I say it is possible, it make also us make a risk by doing it. So you have to be aware of that. Then if via to via, if 2 vias are on different nets, the value is different. You have to respect at least 0.3 millimeters. Okay. And the fact is that if the spacing is too small, we can meet CAF issues. Okay. That can create shortcuts, for example. So we have to be very aware of these values. Anyway, I didn't mention that, I should have, but you have to know that every time you upload a Gerber file into our system, it will be checked by an engineer that will let you know if something is a little bit tricky or if something can be wrong. So sometimes we will ask you, okay, can you modify a little bit your design, or we can try to find some compromise, okay? But you have to know that every time we'll check it before doing it. We won't manufacture a board and then, let's say, leaving 2 chances. You know, if it's not feasible, we'll let you know. And then when you have the spacing between all to all, component all to all, you have to respect 0.45 millimeter. We can try to go up to 0.4, but it's also a little bit risky. Okay. And for non-plated all, the spacing between 2 holes is 0.2 millimeter. Then regarding the drilling tolerances, you have to be aware that for vias, the tolerances are more or less 0.075 millimeters. For PTH, it's the same value, but for NPTH, we can go up to 0.05 millimeter. Sorry? Yeah. Yeah. And then regarding the slot hole tolerances, it depends. There are different values you should respect. I will try to share on my social media this PPT, so you can follow me on LinkedIn, and then you can have all these values in mind. Then regarding press fits or tolerances, it's also 0.05 millimeter. When you need to do countersink or countercore, the depth tolerance is 0.15, and the opening diameter tolerance is also 0.15 millimeter. And for all position tolerance, the all position deviation is typically required to be greater or equal to 0.1 millimeter. Okay. And then for drilling, and so for the different holes we can manufacture, we go from 0.15 millimeter to 6.2 millimeter. And you have to know that the value of 0.15 also depends on the thickness of the PCB. If the PCB is 1.6 millimeter, we can go up to 0.15, but if it's 2.4, for example, we can only go up to 0.2 millimeter. Okay. Here you have pictures of countersink and counterbore on PCB. So for that, we don't have specific values, but you have to share with us the exact angle you want, the opening diameter, the position, and so on, and then we'll let you know if it's feasible. But for this, it's difficult to tell you before. It depends on the tools we have and so on. Okay. Then I will talk about castellated holes. Sorry. Yesterday I had a question from one of you. I don't know if he is here, but it was about the minimum size of the castellated hole. So yesterday I asked my colleague, and I had this page on my presentation. So we can go up to 0.4 millimeter for the castellated holes we can manufacture. Then I will introduce to you the three, let's say, via treatment methods we can do PCBWay. So there are tenting vias, via with opening that are not covered, and via plugged with solder mask. So here you have a picture of via tenting here. Okay. However, for 0.2 vias, the solder mask can be partially blocked, so the covered via are still translucent, as you can see on the picture here. Okay. Then you have a picture here of a via with openings that are not covered. So when we apply the solder mask, it won't go inside this kind of vias. And then we have vias plugged with solder mask ink. So this via is fully blocked with solder mask and are opaques. For via requiring solder mask plugin, a via diameter of 0.5 or smaller is recommended to ensure the quality of it. Okay, so that's it for the vias and holes. Now I will talk about traces. Maybe you have seen on the board I'm sharing with you. We have a coil on the board. The trace width and spacing between two traces is different regarding the copper thickness you ask for. So if you ask for one hose, it can be 0.15 millimeter, and we can try to do 0.1, but it include, it imply additional charges. And then for 2 hose, we can only do 0.2 millimeter. Okay. For BGA pads, it's a question we have often on our live chat. So for one hose, our standard requirements are the pad size is 0.25 millimeter and the tray spacing 0.15. Okay, and also the BGA pad to pad has to be at minimum 0.15 millimeter, and we recommend INEG for sure as surface finish and not HSL for this kind of footprint. Then for bonding pads, so bonding pads are generally used by customers that ask for gold wire bonding. Okay, with also I will also talk with 1 hose of copper thickness. The minimum pad size and spacing is 0.1 millimeter, and we recommend NAP gas surface finish. Okay. So I reminded you some datas. Now I will share with you how to upload your directly from KiCad with a plugin your Gabify to our PCBWay online system for quotations. So first of all, you have to install PCBWay plugin for KiCad. I will show you after a screenshot where you can find it. And then it will automatically put into our system your Gabify, your IPC netlist file, your BOM list if you ask for assembly service, and your pick and place file. And after that, you have to click on Save to Cart, because if not, it won't be registered into our system. And once you click on Save to Cart, it will be checked by our engineer for the review process, as I mentioned earlier. So here you can see when you install the plugin, you have this button that will automatically upload it into our system, and then you can click on Save to Cart after having checked about all the specifications of your board. Especially the PCB thickness, for example, or the surface finish that won't be on your Gabify for sure. And then to do that, you have to download the KiCad plugin. I don't think you see correctly. Sorry about that. But you can find it directly on Plugin and Content Manager. So we have made this plugin directly for uploading your Gabify into PCBWay system. So now, thanks for your attention. I ask if you have any questions, and I'm pretty sure you will have. So that's it. Sorry? Yeah.
The question is, do you offer via and pad?
Yeah.
And for BGA? The second question is side plating.
Yeah. So
side plating, yesterday the guy who asked you a question, but with castellated holes, you could it's more a question of side plating. It's more a question of side plating. Can you do side plating where you plate a certain via on the side? Where you plate?
Yeah. So first question, if we do via in pads, yeah, we can do via in pads for sure. I did not mention it here, but it's totally possible. Most of the time we will recommend to fit it with resin, because we want to avoid that the solder paste can go inside the vias and possibly create some issues, some shortcuts maybe into the PCB. So yeah, it's totally possible. On our website, you can select it. I will share with you maybe after the talk on my laptop. I will show you where you can select it. And then we will automatically ask you if you agree that we also fill the vias with resin, but you have to know that it will create some additional charges. If you don't want us to put some resin inside it, the issue that applying the solder paste can create, that's it. Then your second question was about side plating. No, it's not possible. No, it's not possible.
All right, thank you very much. So I work in a field where we order prototype PCBs like every second day or something like that. You just showed the KiCad plugin. Now, my next question regarding that is, what do I have to do to use your API directly that I can, I don't know, write a script for my GitHub CI to automatically order PCBs from you? Is that possible already? Or I see other people nodding, because that's a thing that I have talked to a couple of PCB vendors for the last couple of years, and somehow nobody wants to expose an API. Are there any plans to do that? I would really love that.
To be honest with you, that's something my colleagues in China are considering, but it's not that easy to I don't know how to say that, but to put in application, because the customer always have also to add all the specifications of the board, and that's why the plugin is the best we can do for now, because we want people to select all the specifications they need, okay? And it cannot, so just to be sure I understand your question, what you want to is to do all the elements directly on KiCad, and also the specifications, selecting the specification you want.
I don't need to do that from KiCad. I want an exposed REST API, because, and I think with a lot of PCB vendors, the argument that I usually got was, oh well, it's hard to implement, and we need to make sure that our customers can't do anything wrong. But I mean, when I'm using an API, especially like the people that are using KiCad, either they know what they're doing, or they know that they don't know what they're doing, and they're very fault tolerant. I mean, I would just love to get an API key that is connected to my account, and then I want to order PCBs from my CI. I mean, there was a time where I was really good in turning YAML files into AWS builds, and I want to be able to turn YAML files into PCB builds.
Okay. I think I had a question like this last year, and I still don't have answers. I mean, that's my question. It's possible. It's possible. But yeah, that's things my colleagues are considering. I mean, there are a lot of requests from a lot of different customers. They are considering all the requests or all the remarks or whatever. I don't know, as they told you, I don't know if it's easy to implement this kind of system. But that's something I will talk with them. I will talk with Anson. I don't know if you know him. It's our colleague in charge of partnership with KiCad, for example. And he will write me down the question and all the elements, and I will ask him, and then I will send you it's called yeah. Our headquarters is in Hangzhou, not Shenzhen.
Okay, but at Shenzhen, will there be people that I can talk to?
I have to check with Anson. He was not sure. I talked with him about that yesterday, but I will ask him. Maybe it could be interesting for him to do the trip.
I'll get the microphone to you just 1 second.
Sorry.
Yeah, Pierre. Thank you very much for the presentation. Do you also offer template files for KiCad that
have already integrated all the requirements for your production? So that
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you correctly.
is it possible to hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Not correctly.
Okay. So the question is, can you create KiCad template files that people can use to create a new project
Yeah.
that has the template files have the requirements already embedded in the DRC rules that match what
Yeah.
you're displaying?
It's a very good remark. Right after, I will ask my colleague, indeed, because you have seen maybe the PCBs that I shared with you. Maybe we can do this kind of template, you know, that can give you all the values you should respect and so on. So yeah, I will check with my colleague about that. But yeah, it's a very good remark. Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Okay. I will ask my colleague right after. Maybe during lunch break we will discuss again about that, and I will ask them right away. Thank you.
Okay, the question is is a double question. One, when one submits Gerbers, are those Gerbers followed 100%? And the second question is, what's the if someone uses what is your minimum solder mask expansion where you're going to land up with no solder mask between two pads?
It depends on the kind of solder mask.
The question was because people upload Gerbers,
Yeah.
and they get them back without solder mask.
Yeah.
So the solder mask is changed on the Gerbers for PCBWay. A lot of companies do it. They change the Gerbers.
Yeah. So first of all, we won't change anything before asking you for it, because just to let you know, sometimes we have some, let's say, usual issues we meet. For example, regarding solder mask bridge, I'm pretty sure you already have these kind of issues. So and we ask to our customer, okay, what do you want us to do? For example, the minimum value between two pads, we can apply the solder mask for, I guess with green solder mask, it's 0.17 millimeter or 0.19, I don't remember. And for all the colors, it's 0.25, okay? And when we have this kind of issue, we ask to our customer, okay, do you want to modify your Gerber file, or do you allow us to not put solder mask on this area of the board? But we never do that without the validation of our customers.
The question comes down to the solder mask expansion when I have to increase the size of my pad, so that I'm not going to have a problem with alignment from alignment. What
Yeah.
is the minimum? Because it's the same question.
Yeah.
If you're going to not increase your solder mask expansion,
Yeah.
you're not going to have a.
Yeah, okay. To be honest, I should ask about that. I don't have the values in mind. Sorry about that. But right after I will ask it, and I'm pretty sure I will have the answer before lunchtime. So
Hello, I'm interested in your stack.
You need to talk into the front of the microphone.
Hello, I'm interested in your stack for 4-layer boards.
Yeah.
That means, what's the typical difference between 2 layers? I mean, they are typical, it's between the first copper layer and the second, maybe 0.18 millimeters, then a very thick inner layer, and then the same smaller outer pre-pack layer. And others are maybe 0.4, a little bit thinner, and then again 0.4.
Yeah.
What's your typical stacker?
To be honest, I have to check about it. We have a web page on our website with all our standard stack up. Okay, you can select, for example, the copper thickness you want, the number of layers for sure, and then we have the possibility to share with you our standards. Okay. However, you have to know that if you want a specific stack up, it's also possible, but the price will be different for sure because you have to modify our standards. But I will share with you the web page. So I'm sorry, I'm not sure I'm connected to internet. Maybe I will with my phone. I can show you quickly. Or maybe I will show you after the talk about it, where to find it.
I asked this question because of high-speed lines like HDMI or Ethernet or USB 2 and 3.
Yeah.
So it's very important to know the thickness of the stacks, because if you have varying thickness, you of course have trouble without end.
Of course. So yeah, I will share with you that right after. So we have a lot of questions regarding stack ups, as you can guess, because we have a lot of customers that are using high-speed material, for example, or that need impedance control on the board. We have created a new tool. It was something like 3 or 4 months ago to help our customer to calculate regarding our standard stack up, the width of their lines to match with the impedance they want. Okay. So we have this online. You just have to search on internet PCBWay impedance calculator, and then you will have all the values. But yeah, what we recommend to our customer is to respect our standard stack up, because it will be quicker to manufacture, cheaper for our customers. But they have to know that anyway we can manage specific stack up. We just have to check if it's viable for sure, but it is totally feasible. I will share all that with you after the talk.
So I had a question about if you also do PCB assemblies.
Yes, we do. We do. Yeah.
Alright.
I did not mention it because it was more about PCB, but yeah, we can do PCB assembly as well.
Then my next question is, within the company we work, we've worked with Chinese manufacturers in the past, and it has been a little bit choppy in regards to sending components or working with distributors and getting the components to them. So how do you handle that?
Okay. So first of all, how we proceed? We don't have a stock of component. All our customers are sharing a BOM list with us. Okay. And then we send back the BOM list, let's say 24 to 48 hours after the request. So back to the customer, giving them the price of each component. Okay. And the lead time on these components, because as we are, let's say, more dedicated on prototyping, even if now we are also working for biggest quantities batch, we order from big distributors. I won't mention them, but we work with very big distributors, okay, because we want to be sure it's true component and not, let's say, fake components, okay. And then regarding how we proceed, if you want us to order all the components, it's possible. If you want to supply all the components, it's also possible. And if you want to make, let's say, a combo, it's possible. For example, PCBWay supply the passive components, and you will supply, let's say, the controllers or whatever. It's possible, but you have to specify it on the BOM. You say, okay, I will supply this part, and then we won't quote it on the BOM quotation. And we will wait for you. We'll send you a procedure to ship the components to us. It's not that difficult. And then we proceed with your order as soon as we receive your parts, and the parts we purchase from distributors. That's it. Thank you. Thank you very much.